Afternoon from people from Europe. Firstly, wishing you a very happy and wonderful New Year 2015. We are happy to welcome you to the very first EBTC webinar of the year. Today's topic is Decoding Smart Energy Business Prospects in India. Let me quickly go and give you a little housekeeping rules to avoid the background noise during the webinar. We would have muted all the participants. When you would like to ask questions, please raise your hand so we will recognize your name, and then we would unmute you while asking the questions. You could also use the toolbar to type in your questions. So that would also help to precisely pinpoint the question and request you to ask the question. So hence, raise your hands and type in your questions in the dashboard using the toolbar. I'm sure you are used to how the webinar platform works. So it should be pretty smooth sailing for us to go through today's journey. So welcome again to the very first EBTC webinar of the year 2015. Today's topic is Decoding the Smart Energy Business Prospects in India. 2015 is expected to be a phenomenal year for emerging markets like India, aspiring to grow at 8% year on year. The new central administration is sending right signals, to the business community to invest in India. So it's pretty impressive, days and aspiring days for India. So there has been a vision of 100 smart cities that could open up the market for smart energy, water, wastewater, and waste technologies. But where are these opportunities? Who are the players? What is the policy? And where are the programs? So to talk about all this, we have the industry expert, Mr. Rejikumar Pillai, President of India Smart Grid Forum, with us. Reji is an internationally renowned expert in the electric power sector with 3 decades of experience in the electricity industry in diverse functions across the entire value chain and across the continents. He is spearheading a mission to leverage technology to transform the electric grid in India and almost light every home at affordable cost through sustainable developmental models. Reji is a very close friend of EBTC, and he played a pivotal role in formulating India's smart grid vision and roadmap that has been recently adopted by the Government of India. He worked with various stakeholders to bring that consensus in finalizing the smart grid roadmap and on the path towards India's smart grid mission. So it's a privilege to have Mr. Reji Pillai amongst us. Reji, welcome to the webinar, and I would request you to take on from here.
Thank you. Good morning to all the participants from Europe. Good afternoon to those who are from India. It's a pleasure and honor for me to address this distinguished gathering on this webinar. And first of all, a very happy new year to all of you, and look forward to working closely with you on our smart grid mission. The newly elected government in India is committed to provide 24/7 electricity to all the households in the country in the next 5 years. Those of you who had a chance to look at our smart grid roadmap, which was approved by Government of India in 2013, there is for the first time in the Government of India's policy, we wrote that 8 to 12 hours lifeline supply of electricity will be made available to all the households in next 10 years. That was 2022. The new government has raised the bar, increased the target, 24/7 electricity to all the households. Those of you who are participating from Europe, you will ask, are there people in India who still don't get electricity 24/7? Yes, we have many. 27 million households, which is representing a population of about 350 to 400 million, are not connected to the grid at all. And those who are connected, about 800 million people who are connected, 90% of them experience power cut almost every day. So this is one of the biggest challenges for the government, to give electricity 24/7. And it assumes topmost priority of this new government. In November, they have launched three focus schemes for achieving this goal as the first phase of the program. That is, we had a RGGVY which we've been following for the last 10 years, that has been restructured and revamped and launched as a new program called Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Jyotirgram Yojana, with an investment of about close to 5 billion euros. And another program which we've been following, RAPDRP, which many of you are aware of, that has again been restructured and relaunched as IPDS, Integrated Power Distribution and Strengthening Scheme, IPDS. That is also an investment of close to 6 billion euros. And for the northeastern states, which are very, very underdeveloped, electrifying those northeastern states for another program about $1 billion. Focused program only for Northeast with the help of World Bank. So these three programs were approved by government in November end, and it is launched. Parallelly, there are many other new schemes which is making a lot of hype among all stakeholders. Is the 100 Smart Cities program, and add to all that, government is now going to launch February middle. Officially, it will be declared 100,000 megawatt of solar power by 2022 and 50,000 megawatt of wind power. This is in addition to what today exists. We have close to 30,000 megawatt of renewable energy already connected to the grid. In addition to that, another 150,000 in next 7 years. That is a very, very ambitious program. 100,000 megawatt of solar in next 7 years is a program which will be officially launched on 15th of February by Prime Minister. So these are all going to create so much of revolution on the Indian power system, which is already one of the largest grids in the world. We have 255 gigawatt of connected capacity, and about 200 million consumers on the grid. So 100 smart cities plus this 100,000 megawatt of solar energy plus 50,000 megawatt of new wind energy. How do we fit that along with our smart grid roadmap, which is already issued? This will see some amount of the goals which is being anticipated in the smart grid roadmap getting preponed with a larger number and an earlier date. That is something which you will see in the coming months. We will reissue the roadmap with new targets and new dates, along with the consultation with the ministry very, very soon, maybe after the budget. We will do that. As I said, I'll take you through the major challenges and what are the smart grid opportunities in India in the next 5-7 years time frame, and also to one of the big show which India Smart Grid Forum going to do in association with the Government of India is India Smart Grid Week in first week of March. So I already told you. So the slides are visible to all of you, the structure which I have told, and I will speak for the next 15 to 20 minutes about this three topics, one about the challenges in the electricity sector, and the smart grid business opportunities, and this India Smart Grid Week. And I already said about 79 million households yet to be connected to the grid. Our per capita consumption is on almost one fourth of the world average, and the grid experiences power cuts every day, and we have huge amount of electricity. Almost 1/3 of the electricity pumped onto the network is lost in the wires. Some of it is technical losses, some of it is theft. So some of the states like Delhi, the capital city, in 2002 before privatization, the losses in Delhi were above 50%. Through technology intervention, we've been able to bring it down from that 50+% of losses down to 12-13% today. Our sustained program of technology intervention and managerial actions. And return on investment in many of these new technologies in both the companies, the Tata Power and Reliance, both operate the Delhi network today, been anything from 6 months to 18 months. Most of the technology which they implemented, the return on investment been in this time span, 6 months to 18 months. And that is how the losses has come down from 50 plus percentage to 11, 12, 13 percentage today. At the transmission level also, some of the states except Western region, many other places, we still have the old substations and the old transmission lines which are manually controlled in medium voltages. So that need to be reduced to an acceptable level of 2-3 percentage. That is also very clearly articulated in the National Smart Grid roadmap. So distribution level, in the slide I have written 26 percentage. This has come down by 10 percentage. 2004, 2005, this was 36 percentage. Through different programs, investment by central government as well as state level interventions and investment programs, this national level distribution losses, this is 33 kV and below. That has come down by almost 10 percentage, which is a huge savings in financial terms. Last year, we have consumed about 950 billion units of electricity. So 10 percentage of it, had we remained with our loss levels at 36 percentage, 95 billion units we would not have been, the DISCOMs would not have been able to bill and collect money. So 95 billion units at even 2 rupee, the cheapest thermal plant input cost, if I take of 2 rupees, that's about close to $3 billion saving in a year. And this is a year after year recurring saving. So the government and utilities and regulators are committed to bring these losses down to below 10 percentage in the coming years, maybe 5 to 10 years through technology intervention and managerial actions. And a huge amount of technology spend will happen in this space. And we have a business case, as I said. This savings will immediately give return, and we have a clear business case for investing into that. And the estimated demand by 2032 is 900 gigawatt. That's about quadrupling our present generation capacity of 200 plus gigawatts. So all this indicate that our growth of Indian power system will be anything 8 to 10 percentage for several decades. And we also need to build a strong and smarter grid, because huge investment will happen in grid modernization and also expanding the grid to underserved and unserved regions in the country. We have the opportunity to build the new systems the smart way, leapfrog and leverage the new technologies and leapfrog straight to smarter grids. Next slide, please. So government has realized that the business as usual scenarios are not going to help giving 24/7 electricity. So regions, different regions, we experience supply demand shortfall during peak hours. So we need to curtail the load of certain categories of consumers so that all have utility management and smart grid being looked at, smart microgrids, grid connected smart microgrids which can island from the grid during peak hours, or demand response and distributed generation. These emerging technologies being looked at for solving our specific problems of access, availability and affordability of power. Some of the new policies which I already told you, 100,000 megawatt of solar and 50,000 megawatt of wind going to be added in 7 years. We want to give three focus program with a combined investment of about $14 billion, which is launched in November. And National Electric Mobility Mission with a target of 6 million electric vehicles by 2020. This was launched by the previous government in 2012. and this program is set to take off because it has a component of close to 2.5 billion euro as government subsidy, and last 2 years there was not enough budgetary support for this program. So the new government promoting new 100 smart cities will definitely give a thrust to the electric mobility mission, at least in these urban areas, and we expect electric vehicle charging infrastructure and other related systems coming in very soon. The Smart Grid Vision and Roadmap, I hope many of you had a chance to look at it. This is a 15-year complete transformation program which we have envisaged that time and issued as Government of India policy. As I said, some of the numbers and the dates which is in this program will get revised in view of the new programs. And to achieve the goals of this Smart Grid Vision and Roadmap, a national smart grid mission is being launched. This is approved and awaiting cabinet clearance. Next slide, please. So national missions are a multi-stakeholder institutions created by Government of India with support from all the state governments. So instead of running the program as a Ministry of Power program from Government of India, when we convert it into a national mission, stakeholders from the states are part of it and they take its own responsibilities. As you all know, we have a federal democratic structure with 29 states and 7 union territories and a central government. Many of these states and union territories have elected governments from different political parties, different combination of political parties, each have its own separate political economic ideology. Bringing all of them together on one agenda is a major challenge in most of the time. That is why this vehicle of national missions found to be very successful, where we make a mission with representation from most of the states, and the mission runs on its own, and some hand-holding and initial budgetary support given by Government of India. So the National Smart Grid Mission for the promoting smart grid is almost about to be launched in the coming few months. We had also launched an initiative of doing 14 smart grid pilot projects. This program, although we started way back in 2012, it got delayed in between in fund allocation, in appointing technology partners by utilities. So now a couple of states have already finalized. One of the state which has awarded the project last year in April is in the state of Karnataka, in the city of Mysore. Mysore has a smart grid pilot project covering about 26,000 consumers with many of the facilities, features of the smart grids. And this program has been awarded to an Indian company, and they have one of the UK company. The smart metering part is going to be done by Scan Technologies, which is a UK company and a member of India Smart Grid Forum. And we have many European companies as our members who are very active in the smart grid and smart city space here. And I wish to congratulate Scan Technology for partnering with Ensign and taking up this very challenging job in Mysore. And as part of India Smart Grid Week, there is a technical tour organized on 6th of March, and one of the tour is to Mysore to visit this smart grid pilot project in Mysore. And we publish a monthly magazine. It's called Smart Grid Bulletin. We started this in January last year. So we completed 12 issues, and the anniversary issue, the 13th issue, which we are going to publish next week. As in a digital format, many of you may be already getting it. We send it to about 45,000 people around the world, our Smart Grid Bulletins. And Smart Grid Bulletin every month capture the progress of all these 14 pilot projects. The number one you can see in the slide is Chamundeshwari Electricity Supply Company, CESC, Mysore, Karnataka, where AMI residential, AMI industrial, outage management system, peak load management system, microgrid and distributed generation, all these features are there. Yeah, it covers around 22,000 consumers now, which is going to be on full rollout very soon. And those who visit India Smart Grid Week will have a chance to visit this utility and the project, and also see the wonderful city of Mysore and the Mysore Palace, which are very famous. Other smart grid pilot projects are the very first project was also proposed in Electronic City in Bangalore by Bangalore Electric Supply Company. That again went into review after review by different consultants, and that project still stuck somewhere between BESCOM and a consultant appointed by USTDA. But in the meantime, BESCOM wanted to do another smaller project covering about 10,000 consumers in Indiranagar area of Bangalore. That project, they have appointed Power Grid Corporation as a consultant, and that might move much faster. Odisha government got funding from ADB and some other international agencies. Those of you follow India would have heard that there was a major cyclone in 2013 in Orissa, and most of the coastal area in the state of Odisha, the distribution assets were completely destroyed. They had to rebuild about 600,000 distribution poles in a matter of 40 days they have done, and put the grid back onto work. So now the government has taken a decision to move the distribution assets underground. In most disaster-prone area, the distribution assets will be made underground cabling, so that the cyclone will not do that much of damage. So while they were formulating that plan, they've been in touch with India Smart Grid Forum, and we have advocated that if you are making such a major capital investment, the substations and the other assets should have the smarter systems, and it costs only marginally higher, few percentage higher. It can be a smart grid project. So that program is also underway. Both this disaster-prone coastal areas will have smart grid, as well as the national capital region, the state capital region of Odisha, which is Bhubaneswar city area. They are making a system improvement project with a huge investment of close to $300-400 million. The feasibility study of that is in progress. USTDA been funding several small pilot projects in India. One of them is a 1 megawatt automated demand response program in Bombay, which was commissioned sometime last year by a US company called Innovari. They also funded another program in Tata Power Distribution Delhi. That is again about 200 odd consumers in a auto demand response program that is also fully commissioned. And this year under the grant program, USTDA has given $692,000 for feasibility study and consultancy for establishing a smart grid test bed. So this was put on to tendering last year, and CPRI has finally evaluated and selected a US company to be the consultant, and we hope that final signing of the agreement and consultant on ground will be by end of March or something. And USTD also funded the development of a smart grid roadmap for the private company in charge of electricity supply in the city of Kolkata. It is also incidentally called CESC, Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited. So and several other states also moving into do projects with their own funding. And this 100 smart cities will definitely have 100 smart grids. Smart grid going to be the anchor infrastructure. In fact, ISGF had published a white paper a few months ago stating that the smart grid can be an anchor infrastructure for building smarter infrastructure of other domains like water distribution, transport, safety, gas distribution, etc. in a city at marginal cost. And for building smart grid, we already have a business case from the efficiency improvement, loss reductions, and better customer care, etc. And that white paper which we published has been found a lot of acceptance by various stakeholders, and the Ministry of Urban Development, which is the nodal agency for this 100 smart cities, has requested ISGF to develop a standard framework for infrastructure domains for smarter cities, which we are in the advanced stages of finalization of that. If you go to indiasmartgrid.org, there is a smart city project tab. You will find all the documents which are a work in progress is already there. Besides all this, we also embarked on training and capacity building activities. We conduct a 5-day Smart Grid Foundation program for engineers, for utility and industry. They come and attend this program. We do a appreciation course on cybersecurity. It's a 3-day workshop. This ISGF, in association with a government entity called the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, NCIIPC, which is under the National Security Advisor directly. And NCIIPC and ISGF together, we designed this 3-day program, and we had already conducted 3 such courses, and the 4th one we are currently doing in Calcutta. This started on Monday. Today we will complete it, 2021-22. Yes. And from March we are trying to move this 3-day workshop. We get participants from other countries, like even Japan, people come to attend it. Turkey, Malaysia, many other countries, people have shown interest and they have come and in fact attended our previous sessions. This is one of it. This cybersecurity for power systems. It's not just cybersecurity for IT where you find expertise everywhere, but cybersecurity for power systems or industrial control systems, there are very few experts, and we fortunately have some experts. Also, you may be aware that GSGF, Global Smart Grid Federation, has launched a working group on cybersecurity, which is chaired by one of our experts from India. And we also do focus programs for consumer engagement. 2 weeks ago, we have published a white paper on leveraging social media for effective consumer engagement. That is again been well received, and the Ministry of Power asked us to make a presentation to all the utilities who are in all the state secretaries of power, and utility managing directors were in India for in Delhi on Monday afternoon for a meeting, full day meeting. So India Smart Grid Forum has given opportunity to present how the utilities can leverage social media for effective consumer engagement. And very few utilities today have presence in the social media, but they will be moving into that. Now I come to the India Smart Grid Week. This is a 3-day main conference and exhibition preceded by a day of tutorials, and afterwards followed by a 1 day of site visits. So this program, we have the support of Ministry of Power, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and the Ministry of Urban Development and the Department of Telecom. So all from the Government of India side. We also have the support of EBTC, IEC, ISGAN, UKTI, NEDO, US Commercial Services, several other distinguished international and national organizations and utilities. And Bloomberg New Energy Finance has joined us as a knowledge partner here. So the main objectives of having this event is that position India as a important emerging market for smart grid and smart city products and services, provide exposure to our utilities and regulators and policymakers in Indian power sector on smart grid technologies, matured solutions and emerging technology trends from their peers in bringing world's top-notch thought leaders in the energy sector to share their views on development needs, future technology trends, what India could leverage to leapfrog, to provide energy to clean energy to 1 billion people, and also serve as a platform for networking and knowledge sharing. Indian utility professionals can meet and discuss with their peers from overseas, those who have already implemented smart grid technologies, hear from them the challenges they faced. Indian industry professionals can meet with overseas technology companies for collaboration, business partnerships. Technology companies can showcase their products and solutions, and startups are also encouraged to come and showcase their products and solutions to potential investors and clients. So on 2nd of March, we start with a couple of parallel events. Again, USTDA been conducting some smart grid workshops along with India Smart Grid Forum. We had one workshop which we did in San Francisco where more than 40-45 small and medium US companies engaged in smart grid came and attended. This we did it on 9th of December in San Francisco. The second workshop is planned on 2nd of March as part of India Smart Grid Week. We expect more than 50 US companies to come along with. We are getting policymakers and utility senior management. This will happen at the same venue. Along with that, parallelly, we are having a smart grid tutorial and some master classes on special areas like IEC 61850 standards, on cyber security, on energy storage, on microgrids. These are all world top experts are taking each of those master classes in the afternoon on 2nd of March. The next 3 days, we have full day conference and exhibition in Bangalore International Exhibition Center. There are each day, morning and evening, there are plenary sessions where we have invited very top senior leaders around the world as visionary speakers. There are 2 parallel technical sessions. We had also invited call for papers for India Smart Grid Week. We had received 133 papers, the abstract, which from around the world. We have shortlisted that and selected some 78 or 79 papers. The full-length papers will be published there, of which some 20 odd papers will be the top rated papers will be presented in this technical sessions as well. Ambassadors of European Union in India, ambassadors of some of the larger countries in India, the European and the US in India, our electricity minister, our Honorable Prime Minister, they are all invited to attend the inaugural session on 3rd of March. We expect most of these people to accept. We will have a final confirmation in the coming days. And also a knowledge paper. That paper will have some of the actual numbers. Next 5 years, what are the investment in different areas in the smart grid itself? How much will be in metering? How much will be in communication? How much will be in wide area monitoring? How much will be in automation, grid automation? This kind of specific breakup of numbers, which we are working on that along with the BNEF, Bloomberg New Energy Finance, and this knowledge paper will also be released that day, in addition to several other publications which we intend to publish. And there will be 5 separate plenary sessions where I already mentioned that some very respected dignitaries will be addressing that gathering, and the technical tracks and special visionary speakers lists are there in the following 2-3 slides. And for the exhibitors, in the exhibition room, there will be a fast pitch session space where exhibitors can book 30-minute slots each day and can present it to people. And we are also having 3 special luncheon roundtables. One of them is on launching a smart utilities group, that's on 5th. So the intention is that some of our private utilities and some of our government utilities, they have gone through teething troubles while implementing several technologies, and they could handhold others. So learn from each other, avoid the mistakes of one utility. So with that intention, ISGF will provide a platform as a secretariat, and one of the respected senior leader from one of the utility will be the chair of this smart utilities group, which we will launch on 5th of March. And for the regulators, for many of the programs and policies to be made a reality, we need the regulatory support. Regulators need to issue supporting audits. So we have a regulatory smart regulations for smart grids and smart cities. That is on 4th of March. Again, very senior people, Sudhin Kelly, the 2-time Commissioner of Federal Electricity Regulatory Commission, USA, she has confirmed. We have invited Mr. Villarreal and other 2 gentlemen, Belwant and Sunavani, are confirmed. we also have a large number of people coming from Middle East, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka, from Myanmar, because this is an area which is much nearer to them, and we also expect larger number of delegations coming from African countries, some of the African countries also. So many of them find our problems are unique and similar to their problems, and the technologies and solutions which we adopt for solving our problems, in providing access to electricity to them, reducing the network losses, reducing theft, etc., are very much relevant in many of these countries, and they would like to see what we are doing. And there are a lot of appreciation and praise on our roadmap, and many of them sought already help from ISGF in formulating their own country-specific roadmaps, which currently we don't have the bandwidth. We're giving advice from 30,000 feet rather than helping them as a consultant. So many of them look forward to what the smart grid and smart city space India is doing. So we have a Gulf countries delegation coming. They would like to have a separate opportunity. They want to give an opportunity. What is the smart grid and smart city business opportunities in Gulf countries to the technology companies who are participating in India Smart Grid Week? We have a special luncheon plan for that on 3rd of March. And we also, along with a global organization called the Indus Entrepreneurs, where it's an entrepreneurship development organization started from the Silicon Valley, United States, and also Indian Angel Network. We are giving a platform for budding entrepreneurs to demonstrate or showcase their technologies and products to potential clients and investors. So this is the basic structure of this event, and we invite all the technology companies and in Europe to please come and participate. The exhibition themes, some of the major exhibition themes are also mentioned there, which covers mostly the smart electricity, smart waters, the smart cities, most of the spaces. Thank you very much, and I will be happy to take any questions from the audience.
Thank you very much, Reggie, for that complete overview of the smart grid and the smart energy opportunities in India, especially laying out the smart grid roadmap and also the mission plans of Government of India, and then an opportunity to do that networking through the Smart Energy Week, India Smart Energy Week, Smart Grid Week, which is planned in early March in the technology city of Bangalore. So thanks again for that complete overview. And yes, as you rightly said, the audience in today's webinar, many of them are the multipliers of smart technologies and the smart grid solution providers. So the exhibition themes are, we also to the audience, we would circulate the presentation that Reggie just made for your information. In the meantime, the session is open for questions. I see, I would again ask all the participants to raise your hands if you have questions. We would unmute you and you could ask questions. You could also type in your questions in the question tab, which is there in the webinar toolbar. So I have a couple of hands raised. John Cronin. John, we just unmuted you. You can, John from SAN Technology.
Yeah.
Ask the question.
Thank you. First of all, good afternoon, Reggie, and good to hear your voice again. And thank you for allowing me to make, really more of a supporting statement, really, Reggie, than a particular question. And that is just for everybody. I'm the CEO and Executive Chairman for Science Technology, and today, as Reggie said, we've just won the CSEC Mysore project with NZen for a £1 million sterling project, and this follows really on two other projects we won in the last 6 months for Tata Power and also for SL Utility in India, And I just wanted everybody to really from Europe to really think about India as a great place to invest in smart grid at the moment. We've been as Science Technology working in India for the last 5 years, and what changed, we went from flying executives in from the UK to India and back out every 2 weeks to deciding 2 years back to invest in local people with local skills, supported then from the UK, and we've now got something like 10 people based in Bangalore, based in Delhi and based in Mumbai, really working day in and day out consistently with the ecosystem of utilities, meter manufacturers, system integrators within India, and it's really paid off dividends, as you can see now with our third order in 6 months. And as Reggie said, you know, something like 200 million meters to go at, and we're just at the threshold of the start of that, and it really is an opportunity for inward investment into India for companies that have the technologies for the smart grid, the end-to-end, including the analytics. And there's a great really listening within India, right from the regional federal government levels, the Ministry of Power levels, and I've met many of them. There's a great listening to really take on board what we have to offer. So I'm encouraged, Reggie, by what you've said and continue to say, and encourage and really support people to really go into India with their technologies to help improve the future for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, John. You have a very, very credible team in India. In a short time you have built, and they have shown results. And wish you all the best, and we are always there to support you.
Yes, I know that, Reggie, and we are a member, as you know, as the ISGF, and we'll see you also at the show in March.
Thank you. Look forward to sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John, for that wonderful insight to re-emphasize the faith in India and then re-emphasizing the opportunity that India offers. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Yeah.
So the next question is by Mrinmay Das. Mrinmay, you have been unmuted. You can ask your question. Mrinmay Das. Mrinmay, are you there? Or I'm not sure whether how I am Mrinmay Das from, okay, it's a Hotmail account, so I'm not sure which organization you represent. Mrinmay. Okay. Again, I re-emphasize for the participants, if you have a specific question, please raise your hand, or if you want to make any specific comments, you can raise your hand so that we will unmute you. You could ask your question to Reggie. Otherwise, Reggie, I had one question on you on the mission. While we have the roadmap ready, do you want to put some timelines against when the National Smart Grid mission is going to take shape? Any indicative time frame, and also would it entail whatever the vision has been laid out?
See, the framework for the National Smart Grid mission is final. It's approved, and the investment approval also under 12th 5-year plan, that is up to March 2017, we had asked for about $1 billion. Most of it goes in institutional development, capacity building, and some other technology demonstration projects. So that is what approved. It has been approved by the S2L Planning Commission in March, approved by the Finance Ministry. We have a committee called the EFC, Expenditure Finance Committee, approved this in September, and in October it was supposed to go to March. Then the other 3 programs which were approved by Cabinet in November, which I told you about, that $14 billion investment. So that has already been, that was already pending. So the government put more emphasis on that those 3 programs went to the Cabinet and it got approved in November. And we have an Electricity Act which we passed in 2004. It's called Electricity Act 2003, which actually passed, and in 2004 in last 10 years, we have seen there are many provisions of that need to be amended. So the last 1.5 years, there are several industry consultations for amending the Electricity Act. The final act, the amendment of the act, which was also to be introduced in the parliament, that also happened in December. So the national mission cabinet note is in queue. The first 3 programs got approved, the Electricity Act got approved, and next in line is this particular one, plus that 150,000 megawatt of renewable, and there is a national wind energy mission. These 3-4 of them in one cabinet meeting from one ministry, you can get only few limited agenda items. So ours is next in line. So anytime it will be approved, and once approved, the institutions, which will be a directorate of the National Smart Grid Mission in India, in Delhi, which will have its own resources, and a corresponding state project management units, PMUs, program management units in each state. This will be set up in phase 1. And then there are some committees, governing councils and executive committees and technical committees. Those are all, framework is completely approved. It's available on the public domain. If you search Ministry of Power website, powermin.in, or you will find the EFC approval document. That's some 38-page old document which talks about the complete constitution, how the National Smart Grid Mission will be.
Okay, wonderful. I think one more point would be, since under the new administration, all the 3 ministries, the Ministry of Power, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and the Ministry of Coal, 3 ministries are together. So that means the decision making is easier. So all the 3 ministries are under one minister, and hence there won't be any reasons of miscoordination or no coordination kind of. So I think all this will bring in very positive impact on the overall market. The next question would be from Colonel Arya, Yogesh Arya. Colonel, you can ask question. We will just unmute you and you can ask question.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Hello,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. See, basically, in India, we have the issue of power not reaching the villages and all those things. So we have so many missions. So are we investing on these micro smart grids, which could use the renewable energy locally and provide energy to the local people in the villages? What are the plans?
Absolutely, that is something which if you had a chance to look at the India Smart Grid roadmap, you will see that in this 5-year plan, 1,000 projects, microgrids projects, next 5-year plan, 17 to 22, 10,000 microgrids. These are, and the following 5-year plan, 20,000. So this 31,000 microgrids in next 15 years as a number which has been put in our roadmap 3 years before, when we first draft which we made in 2012 had that numbers. And this government with this 150,000 megawatt of renewable energy new program and all that, it's going to be microgrid, smart microgrid, grid connected as well as off grid microgrids going to get a big boost. And some again with the I got 2 agencies coming forward to fund some technology demonstration. One is from of course USGTA. We have identified some smart microgrid project, some special economic zone which has been proposed. I expect some grant to come this year. Another one is from the Finnish government side. They also shown interest in doing some smart microgrid projects in India. And we also in dialogue with the government agencies in Sweden and in Netherlands. They all shown interest in doing technology demonstration. Yeah.
Are we taking tips from Germans? Basically, they have a lot of renewable energy, and now what we are looking at is a big shift towards renewable energy, especially solar, which is again it depends on the weather and all those issues are there. So how do we manage
2013? We have energy cooperation agreements with the USA, with Germany, with Japan, so with EU. 2013, when Prime Minister visited Germany, €1 billion financial assistance for energy sector under this energy cooperation India and Germany signed. Some of the major components of that is going to go into building a green corridor for evacuation of renewable energy, the development of renewable energy, setting up of renewable energy monitoring centers, etc. So the exact component, how much money on each one of them, that plan is still, the final plan is still not there, but some of the components have been finalized and the work has already moved forward in that. So more information on that you could get from MNRE. Thank you.
Thanks, Reggie. I think we have many hands raised, but probably we have to, give
all these like we. Colonel Arya,
I think we have many more questions. I think we can give you an opportunity later. So I would just go to the next one because time is also a little short.
Okay.
Next, Dinesh Sharma from EU Standards. Dinesh, could you ask your question? You have been unmuted.
Thank you, Vital, and thank you, Mr. Raji. It was a great presentation, and I must appreciate your efforts, which has been there for a long time. I have two questions, basically. One question is related to smart city. I know you have started working on the smart cities as an activity, and utilities play a very important role in it. So definitely, it's a good idea to have this activities under your umbrella. Now, as you know, smart city does include a lot of other verticals as well.
Yes.
So are you also planning to consolidate all other activities beyond the utilities when you talk about smart cities under your forum, or is it going to be limited to a smart grid or utilities only? That's my question. One question. Maybe and second question, Rajiji, I have is related to DC microgrids.
Okay.
Specifically this low voltage DC.
Okay.
Is there any activities taking place? I know IEEE and you have been working together. BIS has also initiated some activities along with IEC. So some activities are also taking place from the DC microgrid or the LVDC, to be precise. So these are the two questions I have.
Absolutely great. Thank you very much. On the smart city side, see, many of you know about this RIPDRP program. Under RIPDRP, 1,411 towns are going to have a digital map for the first time, going to have a state-of-the-art billing system for the first time by electricity distribution companies, customer care centers in each of those cities, and the IT network, all this broadband access, all this happened or happening. I am told more than 750 towns already gone live out of 1,411 towns. So this infrastructure, the 100 smart cities, whichever way you choose, it is going to be one of the, other than Delhi where there is no RIPDRP, it is a private utility. So all other states, it is the 100 smart cities are to be an RIPDRP town where we already made some investment under RIPDRP in certain digital assets of the electricity distribution company, which can be effectively used for or making the water distribution or transportation or other infrastructure sectors smarter. So we have located that using this the smart grid infrastructure or electric utility automation and IT infrastructure as a anchor infrastructure and extending it to other domains at marginal cost. That has been received well by all stakeholders, and the MOUD asked us to prepare a standard framework on that. So we invited expert from, like, we don't know anything about most of my members, many of them don't know anything about municipal solid waste or about water or about transport. Some big companies, technology companies who are massive organizations, they have expertise in many of these areas. So what we have done, we invited other universities, many of the IITs are part of that journey, many other organizations which are not even our members. We invited them, we conducted two workshops, one on 1st of November, one on 29th of November. So what we are doing is that the Ministry of Urban Development came out with 4 major pillars. One is physical infrastructure, institutional infrastructure, the economic infrastructure, and social infrastructure. The entire ambit of smart city under this 4 and of which under the physical infrastructure, all the domains, we said we will make a interdependency matrix, which will cover even the other domains. What is required for a city to be called a smart city? And we also, while doing that exercise, we also embarked on developing a tool called Smart City Maturity Model. So these are the work in progress draft stages. Many of them provided inputs, and then there has been little amount of confusion between the ministry and some other stakeholders in December. So last 1 month we didn't do much about it. We are just expecting some revised guidelines from Ministry of Urban Development anytime. There have been some change of senior officers there too. So we had a target of finishing these things by end of December or early January, but it may go to March now. And that's on the smart city area. Yes, we are very much there developing a smart city maturity model. You can work in progress document templates are there on our website. You can see India Smart City project. You will see. Coming to the LVDC forum, we had seen that many separate groups in India were working on LVDC, the most prominent being the IIT Madras Research Park, Ashok Jhunjhunwala and team. Then another set of people in Bangalore and Philips Research Lab in Bangalore. They've been working on 380 voltage, somebody on 24 voltage, somebody on 48. So in 2013, India Smart Grid Forum, we took the initiative of bringing all these groups in one umbrella. And we said that we need to, because a larger share of electricity generation is increasingly in coming to DC generation. And consumption also, many of the communities or in gated communities, consumption also, and higher percentage of consumption is in DC. So no point in generating rooftop PV, converting into AC, distributing in the same building in AC and converting it back by for LED lights and LCD screens and all that. So time has come that commercially perhaps it is viable to have a DC distribution system coexisting with the AC system in buildings and commercial centers. So with that in objective, we wanted to do some demonstration projects, and we brought all these teams together, and later they decided that we will have an IEEE stamp. So they made it an IEEE LVDC forum. There are 3 working groups. They are working on that, and a lot of people shown interest, and it has become a bigger ocean now. So in the very first or second meeting itself, we had decided that 48 volt will be voltage. 48 volt will be adopted as the in-home or in-building voltage as a standard. Everybody had agreed. So some of the new members who joined in 2014 started questioning why 48, why not 24. So those kind of things keeping apart. The team headed by Ashok Jhunjhunwala and that working group, they have already written standard for in-home wiring for 48 volt DC. So that draft standard is almost ready, and we had to Ministry of Power and CA and all that. There is a consensus from the government side that yes, we should have a standard for DC wiring, and the draft in middle of this year we intend to issue. That's updated in the DC. We are quite ahead of many other countries because we have a yes sir.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much for the great insight. And I think a lot of activities or efforts are also taking place in IEC, and Mr. Jhunjhunwala is also chairing the similar ad hoc working group in BIS. So probably the harmonization will take place, and we will benefit out of it, because India that truly need those microgrids to connect the rural India. And you are already working with BIS quite closely. So maybe making the BIS to act faster in both smart city as well as smart grid related standards. It would be nice that if India could take on or adopt those global standards. Because as you know, the DC will need an entire ecosystem altogether, and it's not only the standards, it's an entire ecosystem. So probably a coordinated efforts will help on that, which you are taking care of it. But only thing is probably BIS need to be forced or I'm doing my best. I'm also working with them, but I think they need to act fast and work more closely. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for
much faster than what it is. And then as a demonstration project along with ISGF, VJTI Bombay and IIT Madras, 3 of us together, We are going to do a 120 home small hamlet somewhere, unelectrified place, and off-grid DC grid. We are going to do a demonstration project. We found money already in the 6 months that will be there. Any
Great, sir.
from India wanted to be part of that mission, most welcome. Please write to me.
Great, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reggie. I think we have many hands raised, but we just have limited time. So I will just take the last question. And the question is from Zuzer Dhondia, from Delta Res. Zuzer, we will just unmute you. Please ask the question.
Hello, you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I raised a question because I am not in the smart grid and all this electrical generation and part, but we are doing a lot of work on basically forecasting based on the weather forecasting. And I was just wondering if there is any scope or any plan for better prediction of the power supply and demand depending on the weather conditions. I mean, is there kind of a controls or something like that way, which is being part of the smart grid?
That's the need of the hour. That's the need of the hour. We've been struggling for that, to have better weather predictability so that renewable generation can be forecast, scheduled, and dispatched. So there is a huge scope. Please come. You may like to ship to India.
Yeah, no. Actually, basically, I'm from Bombay originally.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm working in Netherlands, and Netherlands, as you know, that we do a lot of thing on the water management, and one of the part which we are working is at forecasting thing, not only for the flood forecasting, but also the forecasting, using of the forecasting information to have a better power generation and power supply.
Oh, very good. Please write to us. We'll connect you with the right.
Okay.
We are going to.
I will write to you.
Thank you very
much.
As I said, we are going to set up 4 or 5 renewable energy monitoring centers, REMCs, very soon. So that's the first phase of the renewable program which we are going to do now.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. I will write back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think it's a. Yeah, you would like to. Okay. I think we will take one more question from Sumit Kumar. Sumit, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Tage, thank you very much for the last opportunity. I almost lost so. So thank you, Mr. Reggie, for the nice presentation. I briefly would like to introduce myself as the representative of an Italian startup which is called One Sun SRL. I have filed certain technologies as an international patent application named hybrid composite nanomaterials, which entails various applications of the nanotechnology. One of which is much closer to the market, is the use of nanomaterials to enhance the functionality of existing photovoltaics by converting the ultraviolet radiation into the visible single peak emission around the red wavelength. So I was thinking that in your smart grid system, is there a possibility to test on a isolated scale the technologies of startups like mine or like other people from around the globe? Is it possible to use the already existing infrastructure of the smart grid and understand and extract the numbers so that we can we can increase the functionality, or we can study the output so as to improve upon the expected results? Is it a possibility?
We can always explore, but to be honest, I have not understood exactly the technology and what infrastructure is required to test that. So if you could, what you could do is you could send a mail explaining that. I will check with CPRI, Central Power Research Institute. I am sure utilities have very little of any such infrastructure to do that. So let us study that and then come back to you. We will be very happy to support anything new, which any scientific development we will always be happy to support.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much. So I will write you in email all the details of my patent and all the possible applications along with this particular one, which is much closer to the market.
Very good. Excellent. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I think
Thank you very much.
we have to end. We're just 10 minutes above the scheduled time. So we have many questions. Please write to us. After this webinar, we would send you a feedback request. Please provide your feedback, and then the presentation would be shared with you with links for where to get additional information, and you can write to us one-on-one. Thank you very much, Reggie, for that insightful presentation. And again, thanks for all the participants.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the participants, and please continue to be in dialogue with EBTC and the India Smart Grid Forum. Thanks again.
And look forward to seeing you all in Bangalore in March.
Yeah. Re-emphasize that look forward to see you at India Smart Grid Week in early March in Bangalore. All the best, and have a great day for now. Bye-bye.
Yeah.